Hello, my name is Jamie and welcome back to the channel. Unlike any other channel that showcases Pokemongopvp PvP content, my channel exclusively showcases Shadow Pokemon. So if you're into that type of content, I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe.
So let's get into today's video. Ric Flair Best has submitted a super strong team. However, we are running some super fucking spicy movesets. My gosh, we have the big thick boy on Outrage and the absolute smash monster Shadow Machamp on Payback. So if you come for some booms, you are in for a fucking treat. Before we get into the battles, shout out to the Singapore Sylph Discord community group, which Ric Flair is part of. So shout out to them. And this team of three is obviously super meta, super strong. You can have success with it. They're a bit weak to Cresselia, but let's see how he plays his way around them. I'm super hyped to get into these battles, and I'm really hoping to pay back the shit out of Trevenant, because that thing has been annoying the shit out of me ever since it was introduced. And in game one, we pick up a Dream Lead, Shadow Machamp into the Walrus. They shit their pants, and here comes Cresselia. Rick is super quick on the switch, however behind on energy. Cresselia is so bulky, it does win these matchups. Obviously Moonblast has a chance of lowering our attack as well. We don't get the attack drop. These stab body slams really don't do a lot. Usually stab body slam is a good move. It's one of the best moves in the game in my opinion, but Cresselia tanks it like a champ. We do allow a Psycho Cut through, which is unfortunate, and this body slam is not going to pressure a shield. They're still in the yellow. However, at this stage we could possibly shield up and commit to the lick down. Let's see if that's the play that Rick is going for. They are on grass nuts. There's only 6 to the next one. They should allow this to go through, as I think they will get the lick down. They get the pause glitch. They're at the grass knot now, and Snorlax absolutely capitalise on Niantic's absolute bullshit game. Out comes Talonflame. Unfortunately, we get farmed down just before the body slam. We now meet him with a Walrus. This is fairly neutral. Obviously, our water typing is resisting the fire. The fire typing is resisting the ice, and the sub-typings both make this a neutral matchup. Icicle Sphere lands, we outpace to the next one. Let's see if this Talonflame wants to commit their final shield. They do shield it up, and this is a CMP tie. I imagine now we're just going to use Machamp and look to counter down. So it is free now to the next move. The opponent is switching out to store a move. However, Shadow Machamp is going to absolutely smash the shit out of this Walrein. We're at the back-to-back moves. They aren't going to make a move, and even that bank move, we would be able to shield up and counter down and take the dub. The opponent realises it's over, and despite having a move bank, they quit the match. So off to a very impressive 1-0 start. In the next battle, we lead Shadow Machamp into Swampert. This is fairly neutral. We apply a lot more fast move pressure than they do. However, their charge moves really fucking slap. Hydro Cannon super OP. Make sure you play Modkit Community Day. Get yourself a Swampert if you don't have one. Rick is choosing to shield this one up. We sneak another counter. This next Hydro Cannon still isn't going to KO, as Modshot's hardly done absolutely anything. We counter down. We have a cross shot loaded. What is coming in? It's Trevenant. We just fall short of the payback. However, this Trevenant is about to get a nice surprise. Are they going to respect the Outrage? I highly doubt it. Most Snorlax run Superpower or Earthquake as a secondary move. We go straight for the Outrage. Is the opponent respecting it? Get fucking wrecked, Trevenant. See you fucking later. In the back is a Walrus of their own. Although we don't have Superpower, Stab Body Slam do really start to add up. You can see we've already got this Walrus down to around half health. They are building up a boatload of energy. They're built up towards the Earthquake to pressure our final shield. Rick calls the bait. Icicle Sphere does not KO. And now this Body Slam should draw the opponent's first shield. Finally, the opponent has started to shield up. We now have a super healthy Walrus versus the opposition's Walrus. We are in the one shield. Unfortunately, we do get baited. So this Earthquake is going to land and is going to get us into the yellow. We also are going to have to Earthquake to take the opponent out. We are going for a bait. The opponent calls the bait. This second Icicle Sphere still isn't going to KO due to water resistant ice, but we do draw a shield. We outpace to this next Icicle Sphere, and once again I still don't believe it will not KO, which it doesn't. So this will be an Earthquake. However, we did switch out with the Snorlax, and one lick should be enough to take that game. GG's and thanks for playing. That Outrage coverage really did flip that mid game. Getting into the next battle, pick up a Dream Lead. Machamp into fucking Melmetal. You love to see it. You couldn't ask for a better lead. They switch out into Gyarados, and we meet him with a Walrein in the Ultra League. This is advantageous for the Walrus. In the Master League, it was still fairly neutral, so obviously when the CPs are a lot more equal, Walrus can win this matchup. Rick chose to shield a Crunch, and we fire off a Icicle Sphere. I believe we should have actually committed to the farm down there. However, we are still going to pressure a shield with this Earthquake. Earthquake does draw the shield, however this Melmetal is going to farm up a bucket load of energy. They're at the back-to-back moves. Rock Slide will be enough to take out the Walrein, and they'll have a Superpower ready to go against our Machamp. Superpower, even without stab, is a pretty good move. It gets us into the yellow. They now switch out into Giratina. This Giratina is on Dragon Breath. This is not ideal. However, are they going to respect the Outrage? Whenever I've been Snorlax, I've never drawn a shield. Will this opponent respect the potential Outrage? Hopefully fucking not. And would you believe it? This opponent shields it up. What an absolute madman. So, Snorlax is going to shield in return. However, I think we are going to run out of HP before we get to the next Outrage. This Dragon Claw is going to get a super low. I imagine we are going to have to switch out. The opponent switches out into Melmetal. This could give us a wink on. Machamp fires the Cross Chop. Cross Chop lands. We do manage to farm down, but we are going to get farmed down by the Giratina. We die with the Cross Chop. We have the Body Slam. This is double resisted. Is Body Slam enough to take this battle? Giratina survives, and unfortunately they Dragon Breath down and take that battle. Super close game, and moving straight on into the next one. We pick up a slightly positive lead. Shadow Machamp into Escavalier. We're both hitting each other for neutral with counters. However, Escavalier is a bit more bulky. They do not shield the Cross Chop, so at this stage now we can shield up the Drill Run and commit to the counter down, and we will leave with some residual energy. Out comes Trevenant. My fucking gosh. Are they going to respect their payback? Big payback coming through. Get fucking wrecked. Machamp is absolutely running through the seam. Not only is it taking out the first two Pokemon, this Cross Chop is absolutely drawing a shield from the Walrus. We now save the Machamp. We switch out into Snorlax. We are going to allow absolutely everything to go through and go straight Body Slam. My fucking god. Shadow Machamp, you monster. Payback landing. One shot the Trevenant. You fucking love to see it get wrecked. Trevenant is absolutely everywhere, and hardly anyone is running Payback, so they all know Shielders Rock Slide isn't really that threatening, especially without stab, and that was an absolute beauty. This game is absolutely over. The opponent is playing it out. We correctly shield an Earthquake. We are going to now fire off an Earthquake of our own. This is going to be more than enough to take this battle. But let's not kid ourselves. Shadow Machamp absolutely carried. And my gosh, do I love seeing that one. Moving on into the next battle. Are we going to land some more huge nukes? We lead Shadow Machamp into Articuno. This is a pretty neutral matchup. We are hitting each other for neutral. We build up to a potential Rock Slide and we fire off a Cross Chop. Cross Chop does draw the shield. It is a CMP tie. Rick is choosing to let the Icy Wind go through, and I imagine we are going to switch out. We switch out into Snorlax. Articuno farmed up to one short of the potential Icy Wind. Well, I say potential Icy Wind, they're one short of the Icy Wind. We now see Snorlax into Walrus. We have got enough for the almost back-to-back superpower. Does the opponent respect it? No, they do not. So we fire off yet another Body Slam. They're already down one shield. This Body Slam should go unshielded. And at this stage now, I think Rick can shield up the next move and commit to the lick down. He is choosing to let it go. Does Snorlax survive? We do survive. 1 HP and a dream. We get to yet another Body Slam. Snorlax wins the zeros in the mid game. Back out comes Articuno. They have an Icy Wind bank. I imagine they're going to blind throw it. This Icy Wind is going to be resisted. Does hardly anything to the Walrus. The opponent decides they've had enough and they leave the battle. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on into the next battle, we see a Venusaur in the lead. This obviously isn't great for Machamp, especially without Rock Slide. His Payback is super expensive, and Frenzy Plant pretty much one-shots a Shadow. So we switch out into Snorlax. We tank one Frenzy Plant. The opponent is choosing to stay in, so we are going to fire back with a Body Slam. Body Slam from a Shadow Snorlax does do a lot of damage to the squishy Venusaur. We are going to choose to shield up this next Frenzy Plant. The opponent is staying in and we are going to outpace to this next Body Slam. Is the opponent going to return the shield or let it go? They choose to let it go and they come in with a Typhlosion. This is really scary. We do manage to get to one more Body Slam. This is going to do a nice bit of chip. Typhlosion actually chooses to shield. We now switch back out into Shadow Machamp. We save the Snorlax for a potential sack in the end game. And now we are going to fire off this Cross Chop. Cross Chop is going to land. It does decent damage to the Swampert. And obviously we have our Walrus, which is a super great response to Swampert. However, that Typhlosion is going to be a real threat in the end game. So out comes the Walrus. We do have to be careful of the Earthquake. We are going to fire off an Icicle Sphere. Does the opponent want to burn their final shield? Yes, they do. Rick pulls off a great sack. Is this the Earthquake? Yes, it is. Earthquake catch on the 1 HP Snorlax, and now we can look to Powder Snow down. This is just a Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is resisted. Walrus laughs at a little drink. Thanks for the drink, Swampert. And guess what, Typhlosion? Get fucking wrecked. Earthquake lands, and that is going to be a good game. GG's, and thanks for playing. Absolute great sack swap from Rick in that battle, which managed to help us pull off the dub. We see Cresselia in the lead. This is going to be a huge problem. Not only that, we see a counter switch into Scrafty, and we haven't even got Superpower. They are going to go straight pops. We are going to bait a potential Superpower. Do we draw a shield from the Scrafty? No, we do not. Body Slam does land. We should survive this next pop and get another Body Slam off. However, this super boosted Scrafty, the counters are going to hurt our Shadow Machamp. Body Slam lands. The Scrafty is in the red. We are going to have to take a few counters on Machamp, and they are going to start shredding. So you can see 3 counters land. They've done around 20% of our HP. We immediately pull a switch into the Walrus, and in the back is a Talonflame in the 2 shield. This isn't a great matchup for the Walrus, and we really are going to have no way of getting rid of that Cresselia. They let the first one go through. We are going to have to shield absolutely everything and look to try and get rid of this Talonflame. Rick throws at great timing. This Icicle Sphere should draw the shield, or they could even let it go and rely on Cresselia. Looks like that is what they're choosing to do. We fire an Icicle Sphere against the Cresselia. They still aren't shielding. This 2 shield crest is going to be a nightmare to get rid of. They still don't have to shield this, as counters are resistant and do hardly anything. The opponent is going to fire a move. If it's a Grass Knot, it will KO. Moonblast does not KO, however they are going to be able to Psycho Cut us down. We are playing it out. This next Icicle Sphere does draw a shield from Cresselia. We now pull a swap into Machamp. Is Rick going to shield it up? Yes, he is. Moonblast does draw the shield. We are now going to fire off a Cross Chop. Does the opponent respect the potential Rock Slide? Yes, they do. This next move is going to be enough to take out the Machamp, and it's going to be a race. Can we outpace to the next move? We actually just get Psycho Cut down. So despite seeing a really tricky lead, we did play it out, and it was quite close. So those were the battles. Huge shout out to Ric Flair Best for the submission. I really enjoyed seeing 2 Pokemon that I use a lot running some spicy moveset. I really enjoyed seeing the Outrage land on the Trev and the Payback land on the Trev. So essentially I just like seeing Trev get wrecked in this video. If you'd like your battles featured on the channel, if you look on my community tab, there is my email address, upload to Google Drive, share them to my Google account, and I'll do my best to feature them. So at this stage, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to everyone for watching. Thanks for all the recent support. The channel is starting to grow finally, and I will see you all in the next one.